Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So, it's finally the month of September, my favorite month of the year. Why is that? Well, not to sound so self-centered, but it's my birthday month. And despite the fact that I dread getting older and older and slowly watching my mind and body break down until I'm dead, I'm still excited. I mean, there's gonna be cake at some point. And when I was younger, I'd usually ask for a video game around my birthday, and one year, it must have been like 1990, 1991, my parents bought me a Bugs Bunny video game, which, ironically enough, is a video game about Bugs Bunny's birthday. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout isn't exactly a game I asked for, but it was a game I got because typically back then my parents bought me games they thought I'd like Home Alone or Muppet Adventure. I'm really grateful that my parents did that for me. So back to Bugs Bunny though. Who doesn't love Looney Tunes? I sure as hell love them. When I was little, I watched Looney Tunes all the time. Even the shows that repackaged them, like the Bugs and Daffy show, the Bugs and Tweety show, the Tex Avery show, or Toonheads. I was in love with the cartoons themselves, and I've been in love with animation ever since. Seeing golden age vintage radio sounding music or classical pieces flowing beautifully with well animated visuals, exaggerated faces and movements, and all topped off with clever jokes and slapstick humor. It's magic to me. And at one point I myself wanted to be a cartoon animator, but that dream died, as well as a lot of childhood dreams, but we're kind of getting off topic. Let's talk about this game. Despite it not being that popular of a game, I want to talk about it because, like I said, it's a game from my childhood. Honestly, I believe this game is most popular today for being the focus point of that Angry Video Game Nerd review where he shits on Bugs Bunny's face. But is the game really that bad? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. The Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout was developed by Kemco and released on the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1990. It was made with the Bugs Bunny 50th birthday in mind. Again, this came out in 1990. Bugs turned 50 back then. You know how old that makes him now? 80! 80 years old! Where did the time go? So Bugs gets an invitation from his fan club. It's for a big birthday celebration. The other Looney Tunes hear about this and are more or less pissed that no one ever throws them parties. So they all decide to team up and try to stop Bugs from even getting to his celebration. What a bunch of assholes! So of course you play as Bugs Bunny. You can move left and right, press A to jump, and press B to attack with a sledgehammer, or use that same hammer to break certain types of bricks. I don't really like using the sledgehammer to attack enemies straight on. It's a very short-range weapon, so chances are an enemy's gonna hurt you as you try to hurt them. Instead, in typical Bugs Bunny fashion, you can jump on their heads, unhurt, and bash their brains in and watch them fly. Wow! For the most part, though, I just try to avoid enemies altogether. It's not like this game has any points, and these enemies don't drop any items either, so You can also hide from them by getting behind certain objects for protection. Some of these enemies seem kind of out of place to me. I mean, a red soapbox, a gray soapbox, a sledgehammer man, a bullet shooting sprinkler. I like this guy here though, because he's literally a walking time bomb. That's punny. There's also the flying fart cloud. Let's see. The game manual says it's a fireball. Yeah, I don't think so. Regardless, seeing this enemy on screen is actually a good thing because if you kill it, it'll always drop more health. Now let's move on to the game's levels. There are 6 different worlds, each consisting of 4 different stages. The first world is the Grasslands. It's pretty basic. Climb ladders, jump on platforms, use your mallet to bounce off seesaws, and jump down these boulder wells to warp to different parts of the stage. Some of the levels here are pretty big and kind of open with lots of different directions you can head towards, but it's still pretty linear and you shouldn't have much trouble finding the end. Once you reach the final boulder well of the stage, you'll encounter a Looney Tunes character. Their first one you'll meet, and encounter at the end of just about every other stage, is Daffy Duck. He marches back and forth and is completely invincible. Well, shit, what do? Just head over to the giant carrot and you'll fly off to the next stage. Oh, and before I forget, at the end of each level you'll go into a bonus stage. You'll collect carrots throughout the stages, and at the end you'll get the chance to play on this bingo card. Every 10 carrots gives you 1 play. You'll get 5 random numbers, and if they match at least 3 in a row, you'll get an extra life. I gained 2 lives already. Sweet! And at the end of each world, we get ourselves a totally different bonus stage. It's a Whack-A-Weasel stage with Willy the Weasel. It's yet another bonus stage to gain more extra lives. So find that Willy and start a-whacking! Now, at the end of the second act, you'll encounter a boss fight with little old Tweety Bird. Oh my god, he's huge! He'll peek out, throw tomatoes, and then hide back in the bushes. Lure him out, beat him down, and after 3 hits, he dies. At the end of Act 4, we'll encounter another boss fight, but this time it's with Wile E. Coyote. This jabroni straight up tries to shank you with a fork. Distance yourself and hit him with your hammer a few times to defeat him. Next world is the desert. The platforming here gets a bit more challenging. There's also a lot of spikes you'll come across. There's some brutal stuff here. There's a few parts where the ground breaks down behind you, there's quicksand, and you'll even encounter a few earthquakes that don't really have any kind of effect. One thing I always thought was kind of trippy were these statues. They're alive, you can see them breathing, you can bash their brains in, destroy the body, and it's still alive, beating its heart. That's actually pretty gnarly. So at the end of the levels, you'll have another encounter with Daffy, another boss fight with Tweety, and one that's not even a boss, it's just breaking bricks. And the final boss of the world is Yosemite Sam. He's pretty quick, and if I'm being honest, I think he's probably the hardest boss in the game. And that doesn't mean much really, because the other bosses are, well, you'll see. Afterwards, another minigame and more extra lives. So I just beat the first 2 worlds, and I'm already at 18 extra lives. That's quite a bit, and the game isn't really that challenging yet. Maybe it gets more difficult later on. World 3 is the Volcano Valley. There's some lava here and there, volcanoes that spurt lava, lava that shoots up from the ground, and even boulders that fall from the sky. There's just shit flying all over the place. The platforming here gets a bit more open-ended, but it's still not too hard to get through the levels. I mean, look at this encounter with Daffy. You freaking serious? The boss at the end of Act 2 is Elmer Fudd. He kinda spazzes out and shoots a net at you. Dodge and hit him several times to defeat him. The third act of this world will have an even more pathetically easy encounter with Daffy. And the final boss of this world is Sylvester Jr. He just bumps around back and forth on his skateboard, all innocent-like. Kill him. And once you do, Sylvester the Cat appears, also on a skateboard. Make him join his son in the afterlife and we'll finish this world. So while I was playing through this world and started playing the little bonus stages, I started hitting 4 in a row on the bingo card, thus giving me 5 extra lives instead of 1. I'm starting World 4 and I got 39 freaking lives. When does this game start getting challenging? World 4 is the Spooky Cave. This is probably my favorite world because, well, I like spookies. This is more the same stuff we've seen, except this time there's waterfalls, happy little ghosts, and the occasional lights out gimmick. Here we'll have a couple of encounters with Daffy and Tweety yet again, and the final boss of this world is Pepe Le Pew. He just jumps around the screen spraying little stink clouds. Just hide behind the rocks and when the time is right, bonk! You know how many extra lives I have at this point? 46. 46! I am still waiting for this game to get difficult. Level 5 is the forest. This one has ropes to jump onto and trees to climb. Other than that, same stuff we've seen already with the same minions we fought already. There's more encounters with Daffy where there's obviously no effort put into it whatsoever, another fight with Elmer Fudd, and then a final boss fight with Foghorn Leghorn and that little chicken hawk. Look at how pathetically easy this fight is. That's so easy, it's rather upsetting. And you know how many extra lives I have right now? 53. 50 freaking 3! Now we're at the final world. The haunted mansion, I guess. The difficulty picks up, but not by much. There's spikes that fly at you as soon as they're in your reach, rotating belts to slow or speed you up, and lots of things that fall. We eventually reach the final boss of the whole game, Taz. Instead of doing his signature tornado thing that he does, he instead throws footballs. So, how do you defeat him? Use your hammer to bounce them right back at him. We did it! We beat the game! We finally get to the birthday party! Bugs arrives, lets out a surprised fart, and is greeted by all his friends. To Bugs' surprise, he finds all of his Looney Tune pals there, who had just moments ago been playing some very funny tricks. The end. What the hell? Funny tricks? Those pieces of shit just tried to kill me! I killed some of them! I killed a small child! I killed a baby chicken hawk! The fact that they're not there at the end proves that! There's no going back to the way things were! Blood has been spilled! My God! But that's the Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. So what would be the best way to describe this game? I would say it's just okay. Really, the game isn't bad at all. It's just, it doesn't do anything special. It really is a what you see is what you get game. The levels aren't memorable. The level structures could have been a bit more challenging, maybe pushed each world's gimmicks a little bit further to make it fun. Every level structure kind of feels the same, and that's a bit lackluster. It doesn't help that you have like 10 or so encounters with Daffy and they all suck. The bosses in general are a letdown. Maybe instead of fighting Tweety Bird or Daffy so many times, they could have thrown in some more Looney Tune characters to fight, like Marvin the Martian, Speedy Gonzales, or Porky Pig. I mean, Porky is right there on the box art, but nowhere in the game. I guess it wouldn't matter though. I wouldn't see the bosses on screen very long anyway, since you can kill them in literally seconds. The bosses are actually the easiest part of the game, and this game wants to make sure that you keep playing by giving you so many lives. By the time I reached the final stage, I had 67 lives. And I'm not saying I beat this game without dying, because I actually did a few times, but the game is still being way too generous with the bonus lives. There's no real challenge. If I had to nitpick further, the graphics aren't impressive, the color palettes are dull, and while I think the music is actually pretty good, the fact that all the tracks are looped after about 15 seconds, you're gonna get sick of hearing them pretty quick. But, with all of these things said, it's not really a bad game. While it could have been improved, it's still a fully functional video game. I mean, not every NES game can be a Mario Bros. 3 or Mega Man 2. Honestly, if you liked games like Rescue Rangers or Darkwing Duck, I'd put this game along the same lines, just it doesn't have that charm. It's just a super simple platformer. What you see is what you get. It's not great, but I've played worse. On the upside, it's a lot more of a relaxed platformer, especially compared to the last game I reviewed, which was Battletoads. But is this game a must-play? No. But if you got the extra time, or if you're looking for something less chaotic to play, you can give it a shot. But those are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of the Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout? You like the game? Dislike the game? Let's talk about it in the comments below. I thank you guys for watching this video, and if you want, go ahead and hit a little like or dislike, whatever, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And until then, I'll see you guys later.